So, hey Ines, how are you?
Hello, Thor. I'm looking at your marvelous orange jacket. It's awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, I think it might be the best sort of clothing item I've ever had that I'm the most happy with in my entire life. Is
It
this
looks
red jacket.
cozy. It looks good. Yeah,
Yeah.
the tailoring is really good.
The tailoring is like really, really good. It
Yeah, I
fits
like
me,
that
it
pocket.
suits, it's great. It has like this nice pocket.
Yeah,
For those of you who are listening to this, it has like a really nice pocket and it's just like cozy. And I don't know, it's
it
just
looks
really,
cozy.
and it's like I've never owned anything red in my entire life.
Is it red or orange?
Um, it is probably orange, but with some like towards more towards
Yes, it's got a
red than
comb.
towards
Yes.
yellow, basically. It's more towards red.
So, are you going to tell us where you bought it? Those of us who might want it.
Oh, so that was so is this Swedish? I suppose it's part of the H&M group, but it's a shop called Arket.
Can you? I
Arket.
A R
Arket.
K
Et.
Arkett.
Yeah,
And
so
so, how
it's
did you know your size? Arkett. Okay.
oh, I just
You go
guessed.
online with Arkett and you get
Yeah.
that? Okay.
Yeah. I just guessed. I just guessed my size. I mean, because obviously you can just send it back, right, and get another one if it's
Yeah,
the wrong size. I
that's
mean,
right.
that is the one thing I hate about online shopping is the
Me
guessing
too.
of sizes. Ugh.
But it's next I bought something. You have to buy it. You
Yeah.
take it home to try it on because it's more hygienic. If you don't like it or it's the wrong size, you take it back. Of course, they refund your money, but then you order the other one.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I suppose that is very true. So
Yeah.
it's basically the same, isn't it? But yeah, it's just like going to the post office, having
Uh,
I mean it's a
uh.
real first world problem, but
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
it's
But
still
I
good.
saw a really nice mask on the BBC because the West End has opened up.
Oh yeah.
And this one of the young women that was I don't know, she was directing people, and she had on the mask was nicely contoured to her face, to anybody's face. It was just not only her mask, but black outline, and then it had like a see-through net. Obviously, it was safe and everything else. It looked so good. So you saw a little bit of her lips. It
Mm,
wasn't just sort of a flappy mouthpiece, that blah 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 blah.
that's
Hello.
nice. That's interesting because obviously
Yeah.
it sort of becomes really weird, isn't it? When you can't
Yes.
see anything but the
Exactly.
eyes.
And this was slightly open. You just saw her lovely bottom bit of her mouth, and just, it was okay.
Yeah, it's like there's actually a person behind there.
Yes, yes.
Mm.
And you can also read the person's facial reactions and their
Yeah.
body language a lot easier with a little smile or something like that.
Yeah, because you make up much of a person out when you see a smile and you see
Yeah,
how they like rah, rah. Yeah, it's
yeah,
really important.
exactly. Yes. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, it's a funny one, isn't it? Because it's even a thing with Zoom, right? Because now
Yes.
I only see your head, but you don't see the rest of their body, so you get like a strange understanding of who people are. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
there's a colleague at work who I have never met in person, who I'm now really good friends with.
Yeah.
I've just never met him in person, and he's going to move here in June, so it'll be interesting
Wow.
to meet
Oh,
him in
that's fun.
person. But
That's
it's like
nice.
I've only ever seen this much.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I think it'll be so fascinating to meet him in person and just be like, oh, so this is what you like.
That's right. Add the rest of it.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. That's interesting. I think that
Mm.
we've all become, this is really generalized statement, but I think we've all become very more appreciative of people.
I
I'm
think
looking forward
so.
to coming up to London and seeing you too
Well,
as
exactly, right?
well.
We haven't seen each other in over a year.
I know, but the weather's so foul. I don't want to go out.
I can hear
It's
the
so,
wind
yeah.
outside. It's like blowing like it's
Oh,
nobody's business.
yeah, and it is chilly. Yeah,
It's
and it's wet,
chilly.
super wet. Yeah.
Is this normal, Ines? That it's so chilly in May?
Global warming. Well, no, I take that back. I don't take it back, but no, we've had snow in June.
We've had snow in June.
June,
Okay.
exactly.
Yeah.
But New York is having, yesterday was 80, the day before was 91. So what I do know, if they have nice warm weather, we'll get it next week.
Okay.
We'll get it. Yeah, we'll get it.
Let's hope for that because I'm so ready for some warm weather.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I am a Norwegian, so I'm used to the cold, but
You like your summers, don't you?
I love my summers. I
Yeah.
love hot, steamy weather.
Yes, yes, yes.
Actually, I do quite like the extremes though, because I do like it in Norway when it's like biting cold.
Fantastic. Yeah, I would love that as well. Yes, it's
Yeah,
winter. It's cold. You're snuggling in. The wood burning stove is on, or whatever you have,
yeah. So
and
I
it's
quite
all
like,
cozy. Yeah. Good,
yeah,
good, good.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I quite like the extremes actually.
Yes.
I'm just I've just started reading a book about this guy who he's doing like this adventure in like the Antarctic and spending a
Yeah.
month in the Antarctic. I mean,
Yeah.
it's quite
That's
that's intense, isn't it? I mean,
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
that's cold.
That is very, very cold. What is he doing? Is he monitoring the ice sheets or the
So
polar
it's
bears or something?
he's like an adventurist. So he's just
Okay.
like out there for like for the challenge,
For the
basically.
challenge.
For the
Okay.
challenge.
All right.
Yeah, which I think it's
Okay.
well, I'm it sort of I'm someone who quite likes a physical challenge,
Yes.
because I'm someone who likes a physical challenge. I sort of resonate with it.
Yes. Well, you look. Well, you've got the build and you've got the body.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So I completely understand that that doesn't necessarily resonate with everyone, but because I enjoy the physical challenge, it's like,
Yes.
yeah, I really get
Yeah.
it. Not that I'm going to go to the Antarctic anytime soon, but I get it.
But if you want a bit closer to home, they're doing a climb. It's Snowdonia here in England for age concern. It is on the web or something like that. And I know a couple of women who have signed up, and they're a little overweight, but they're now working out. They're trying to wash their P's and Q's, get fit. They're training to do this climb in August,
Oh,
and the
really?
climb is at night, and all they have is sort of these night lights, miners hats. So if you want a challenge, there are plenty of them going around also for a really good cause.
Yeah, yeah. I love that. Snowdonia. Where is that?
I believe Wales.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Because one thing which is a shame about England is that you're not allowed to do wild camping, right? Well, there's
yeah,
places you
sort
can,
of.
but you're
Yeah.
not really. Whilst in Norway, you can pick up a tent anywhere as long as you
Yes.
don't stay more than 1 or 2 nights. Then you have
Okay,
to,
that's fair enough.
yeah,
Yes.
but you can like pitch up a tent anywhere.
Yeah.
So yeah, because I
So do you
started
have
looking
bears? Do you
yesterday.
have wolves? Not bears.
Uh,
Do you have wolves?
Probably somewhere, some places, but
Yeah.
not that close to the city. I hope there will
Well,
be
I know
some
in
places
Montana,
nearby.
where I sort of come from, they have reintroduced wolves, and
Hmm.
of course they tag them and they monitor how the pack is progressing. And of course, their own habitat has been encroached on, so they're going for the sheep, or they're going for calves, things like that. And it's not a good combination because people also camp.
Yeah.
And you don't want a hungry wolf. The last one they tagged was 120 pounds. There was a young male, hmm, I spy with my little eyes.
I'm so hungry.
Yeah, that's right, a little chubby cowboy.
Yes, I'm trying to figure out what kind of challenge I can do, but that Snowdonia one, that's a really
Yes.
good shout. I might do that.
Well, I know that there is, apart from say marathons, which are wonderful. However, you're just running around on a road with 1,000 other people or more. But Snowdonia, it is in a group,
Yeah.
but it is in the sort of a wilderness. It
Yeah.
is beautiful countryside. Wales is a fantastic place.
Yeah, I've also never been to Wales, so that would be a nice
Yeah,
opportunity. Yeah. Really nice.
you probably
Uh,
have to sign up for it. I don't know if they're still taking a.
yeah. What are we talking about talking about
Okay,
this week,
speaking of
Ines?
bigger and better things, what we're talking about today is literally, now it's not a word play, but it is in a way because there are many words that are bantered around which mean exactly the same thing. And
Mm,
very often I certainly, does it mean that or whatever? So what we're talking about in the main is the soul, the body, and the spirit.
okay.
Immediately, an individual might think it's the mind, body, and spirit, because
Yeah.
that's what we see advertised.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm incorporating those two. And what we're talking about is what can be achieved with that combination. And also, we're going to look at it from different angles. So when the mind, body, and spirit come together, of course, it's called nirvana, or the trilogy. What it means, it is as far as a physical human being can go. And that is also applies to an adept. who have totally cleared their minds, they're intuited, they go into that area, which I will get into. But we cannot, no human being is able to go further, because it's like a revolving door. We're born, we die, we're born, we die type of situation. And then we come to a point where we can look, maybe clean the glass a little bit and look into the spiritual side, but we cannot enter it until we leave our body and die. So it's as far as we can do without discarding the body. Now, the 3-in-1 is also very important, because even our mind is split into 3. 2 parts being one, and the other part being on its own. So we have 2-in-1, and then we have the other. So it's 2/3 and 1/3. The 3-in-1 is also symbolized in the symbolism of the execution on the cross of Jesus, which also has 3 parts. Now I'm moving from religions, Christianity, which is divine, spiritualism, mind, body, and spirit, that type of situation. So the execution on the cross, which also has 3 parts. In this instance, the 3-in-1 would be the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. Now, the Holy Ghost is actually our own spirit, if we now go back to spiritualism, but it is the spirit that is around us, the spirit that learns. But if we talk of the Father and the Son, we're actually talking about male and female, which is the androgynous situation within the body, because we are both, and both are within us as physical beings. Now, what we're doing, of course, is looking at different angles of explaining exactly the same thing. And I just took those 2 areas, Christianity, and which is easy to look at, and also the mind, body, and spirit. So the Father and the Son dwell within the bodily functions, physical bodily functions. But when we talk of this, and we also talk of the mind, body, and spirit, in this instance, taking that, we have dubbed the soul as the mind, so it can be soul, body, and spirit. But it is the soul, which is the directive force that lies within the power of ourselves, and that is what is directed from wherever the Godhead happens to be. So what we're saying is simply that it doesn't matter how we put the trilogy together in our own individual area of acceptance or in our own area of belief structure. It does not make any difference. You're still coming. It's only a word. What difference does it make? None whatsoever. Again, when we talk of healing, spiritual healing, psychic healing, why do I call it dog and mouse healing? Doesn't matter. None at all. It's a word, isn't it? So what we're doing is just taking it from a different angle. So moving on from that, in our daily life, before we begin the day, in whichever way our day begins, we should try to tune our day for whatever lies ahead. And of course, we do this through the art of meditation. And meditation, I will repeat and repeat myself, is an art. By tuning ourselves, we balance our mind, our body, and spirit. Father, Son, Holy Ghost, doesn't matter. We tune that to what challenges lie ahead for us so that the body can sort them out and we can feel easier in our mind, perhaps happier in our minds. And the beauty of all of this is we can reach this balance literally in a fraction of a second. I know you're amazing with meditation, Thor. Do you find that once you reach that point of concentration, you just go? You're not counting, you're not looking, you're not timing yourself. It happens, doesn't it?
Yeah, and it's so fascinating that this is what you're talking about this morning. So, a couple of times a week, I just put pen to paper and see what comes.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing which I wrote about this morning
Yes.
was that I said I just wrote something like the most profound experiences I've had in meditation is when time and space ceases to exist.
Yeah.
Obviously, that doesn't happen every day because we're physical beings.
Yeah.
But throughout my time of meditating, that has seemingly happened, and that's when I've had the most sort of profound experiences with my meditation. And that's exactly it, isn't it? It is when the mind, body, and spirit comes together, and
Yeah.
everything just becomes one, and you sort of and it just shifts your being. So that's exactly what I wrote this
Interesting.
morning, which is really really interesting. I want to pick on something you said. The mind was divided into three spaces, like two
Yes,
thirds and
that's
one
right.
third.
That's
What are
right.
those? What are those?
Well, there's the larger part.
Right.
And then we have the smaller part but even within the smaller part, if you go online, you can see that there
Oh,
are
so you're
three
talking about the
parts.
physical construct of the brain, like the
Yes,
prefrontal cortex
exactly.
and the three parts, basically. Oh, right.
Father,
Okay.
Son,
Cool.
Holy
Yeah.
Ghost, mind, body, spirit, three. The cross, three. It is symbolism. There is a
Right.
reason
Right.
for
Right.
it.
Yeah, because it's the limbic brain, and then there's one more, and then there's one more, which I can't remember the name of. Right.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
Okay. I see what you mean.
Um,
So yeah, definitely. I think meditation is, yeah, it's really the beginning and the end. I mean, I often say this phrase is like, we can talk about meditation until our face goes blue, but if you don't do it,
well, it is the basis and the
yeah,
continued basis of any form of development in whichever way a person sees it. It has to be.
yeah,
And this is not it is not a cultural thing. It is a universal situation. The mind, if you're physical, has to take a step back, has to
yeah,
go on the back burner.
yeah.
And
So
that's
what is
it.
it?
But
What is it about the number three? Why is everything divided into three?
it's just the way it happens to be. Three and one.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, it's just how it is, isn't it? It's just how it's
Yeah,
been put together by the universe.
exactly. But we're going to go into the universe.
Oh
There
yeah.
is so much more. Anyway, we go into meditation with a purpose. When we sleep, we do not necessarily have a purpose because we need sleep. The power of hypnosis is a suggestion that is made for us. But within meditation, we tune ourselves, and as that force of meditation, which is a force, becomes stronger within us, it makes the power of our life more fulfilled. Our life becomes stronger, and certainly we're more able to follow the patterns of life that are intended. And if we do, this gives us a feel good factor. It's just something that it feels right. If we are not following our karmic pattern, it's analogy such as you have a button, and that you're twiddling and fiddling around with a button. And you're going around, I'll do this button, you can see, fiddling around, it's marginally loose. You're going to fall off, but you're still fiddling with it because something isn't quite right. So when we do follow that pattern of karma, it is a feel good factor. So through meditation, what you were just saying, Thor, as well, we can also allow our mind to free roam into the realms of spirit. So when we talk of spiritual travel, it is simply that our spirit or the memory is what we can see and follow. So the spirit around us, which gleans the lessons of of our life, that is the spirit around us, leaves when we die, leave our body behind. That we can see and tap into. That is spiritual sort of travel. So if our mind is prepared, i.e., relaxed, we can perhaps float away and see with the inner eye, which is the third eye, which is the color of indigo. Now, when we talk of space, space could be right here in front of us, or space could be on the verges of the edge of time, literally. And that is something which could be reached in a short period of time by that part of the mind or soul that we have just been talking about. So when with our podcast, The Spiritual Link, with a meditation, we're not trying to bore you to tears, but to bring forward all of the variations that all are on offer through the power of meditation. Anyway, the speed of light is 168 miles per hour. Now, if that is in an hour, we could come to astronomical sums in a day. But if I said to you that to reach some parts of the universe, it might take somewhere in the region of 7 to 8 physical billion years of that speed to reach it. 7 or 8 billion years to reach the edge of time. Yes.
That is a long
A
time.
long time. However, so can you imagine the astronomical situation involved? Now, some adepts that have released their minds are able to move those sort of distances literally in a flash of a second. Of course, there's no aging, of course, as it is the mind that travels and not the body. This is where, let us say, if you take Egypt and the death situation, they believed in reincarnation, but to literally, if you were a pharaoh, you're going to move into the same situation as you had before. So you take your slaves with you, you take your bits and pieces, your trinkets, and so on and so forth. So, but we have to get rid of the body. But we can't travel that literally in a flash of a second. So having said that, can you see what an incredible tool we have at our disposal? The art of meditation can create either the physical areas of contentment, happiness, and able to deal with the problems of the physical, or it can go forward and delve into the more complex problems of what is. I mean, it is that incredible.
Mm. And so
Now, the
much of it is
guides,
just,
yeah, go
yeah,
on.
so much of it is just wasted away.
Well, I think because we always think, well, either, oh, you're meditating. So what are you, a religious nut?
Yeah.
Forgetting that calming the mind means you're actually looking after your health,
Yeah.
mental health, physical health,
Yeah.
maybe even your financial health, because the mind is clear.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's not just. And so what if you want to go into an area of spirituality or religion? Doesn't matter.
Mm.
Of course not. Anyway, the guides, they are an extra. So we have to move through life in our own way, of course, but we're given some help. It's like saying, if the load is too heavy, the guides will help us to push this load up the hill. But then once we're on the top, we're on our own again, which doesn't mean that they're not ready to leap into our existence whatsoever. They are there. So our physical thoughts, and of course, our physical life is of utmost importance, because without that and without the flow of life, the spirit that is around us, which can be the mind or the soul, draws from us and relies so definitely for our existence. So our life, our ability to lead our life is very important. But what I think we should always try, if anybody's listening to this or any other podcast, doesn't matter, on this type of area, try not to forget the incredible tool that we have at our disposal. It's incredible. It's so easy to, oh yeah, I've meditated. I stood over the sink and I listened to music. It's not that music, standing over the sink isn't good. We give the time and then we make it happen by giving something up of whatever we need to do. That is then our choice.
Mm.
And without our choice, our will, our want, it does not happen.
Mm. Yeah, and I think that's a really important thing, isn't it? It's like, yes, we've got spiritual guides and so on and so forth, but we have to use our own will. That is a part of the force of the self,
Exactly.
is the
Yes.
will, right? Which is last week we touched on like free will and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's an interesting thing that we've got these guides and we've got a spiritual lesson, but there's also I think there's something incredibly, maybe like you said, it might be a delusion, but there is something which feels unique or special about the will of the human to continue moving on. There's something spirit needs from that. Our will to move forward.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes you think, my God, what's my purpose? I'm talking about people in general. Don't have a great job. I'm not a doctor or whatever it happens to be. I'm not contributing to life. everybody is contributing to life. Because through that individual's, say, determination, let us say you're completely bedridden or you can't get out, what is their mind doing? Their sheer determination of still saying my glass is half full instead of half empty. That is a huge lesson. And when that lesson is learned by one individual, it benefits everybody.
Yeah.
It doesn't always have to be a physical panning out of sweets. It's just, we all matter so much.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I thought it was interesting with the 7 or 8 billion physical years to get to certain parts of the universe. That's a long time.
That is a long time.
Yeah. But with regards to communication, and we're talking about the speed of light, that's physical light as we see it, that if we send a color to our, let us say, our guide is someplace else in the universe. I don't want to get into that too deeply. The color will reach your guide quicker than even a thought. It's like instant. Absolutely instant.
As a result of the universe being made up of color and sound, right?
That's right.
And color being the alphabet of the universe. I can remember the first time you said that, and I was like, that's so profound.
Yeah.
That always stuck with me. It's always stuck with me.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I like the photos you sent me of that workspace that you're doing your meditations from. And also your healing, absolutely beautiful. And I felt when I saw that, I really felt the energy, the positive energy in that room. But also, I believe you may have worn that jacket. It was so good.
Yeah, no, it's a really lovely space. And I think that's the thing which you and I also work in, which is that space of like, how do you set up a space to be energetically, I wouldn't say correct, or like, well, let's call it energetically well.
Yes.
Because there's so much to, like, we talk about meditation and stuff that you can do to your body, but there's also so much that you can do to your space, right? To clear out those energies and to just set it up to benefit you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, absolutely. Of course, energy travels through walls. And the trick is to confine your positive energy into your little space.
Yeah.
If it's a cardboard box, it is no less secure than a great big concrete building.
Yeah.
It still goes through the concrete.
Yeah.
The ethers, the negativity are in the ethers.
Yeah, so you're gonna play some crystals in there to help you ward off those negative energies.
Absolutely, yes. Careful placement, because when as time goes on and the pollution becomes more, I know we're supposed to get rid of, it's fantastic, plastic bottles, but it's already very late in the day.
It is already incredibly late in the day. I mean, it's a good thing.
Exactly.
But
Yeah. And that pollution that's in the air, to keep it at bay, because it deteriorates our body. Doesn't matter how much running you do and how much organic food you eat or how much of a vegetarian or vegan you are. You're still drawing in these pollutants. And it's the crystals that will actually be able to balance that situation.
Yeah.
They can't eliminate any illnesses that a person might have had through this pollutants, but it can stop it in its track.
Yeah.
That's why crystals are really important in a home.
Yeah, well, my room is definitely guarded and warded in every.
Oh, it is. Oh, yes. Oh, that's right.
But watching the videos.
It is, but it's also your positive energy, Thor.
Yeah. So, what's the positive message for the week, Ines?
Okay. Have faith and strength to be yourself and to follow your dreams.
Say it again.
Have faith and strength in yourself and follow your dreams.
Love it. Do that.
I think the first bit of that, I think, is the most important. Have faith and strength in yourself, because life gets on us. You're not right. You don't do this. You're the wrong height. You're not doing this. You don't have a degree. You have too many degrees. You get up too early. You get up too late. You don't show enough teeth. You have the wrong teeth. You name it. It's there. We're all who we are. That's it. That's the bag we got. And thank goodness we're all different.
Thank goodness for that. So have faith and strength, people. And thank
Yeah.
you so much for listening as always.
Yes.
Obviously, Ines and I welcome questions,
Yeah.
comments, subscribe, do all of that jazz. We would really appreciate it. And yeah, just
Thor,
thank you so
what?
much.
Where do you go? Where do you have the meditations? Can you give that to our
Oh
listeners,
yeah,
please?
absolutely. So I do meditations at Urospace, which I think it's actually Oru Space because in ORU space in East Dulwich every Wednesday at 5:30 and every Sunday at 1 p.m. So I'll be there twice a week doing a guided meditation with crystals, and it's just a lovely space.
Good. Good.
Mm.
And an amazing person leading it.
Thank you,
So
Ines.
how do they get to that? You just turn up,
You
or
just you can do
have to book?
walk-ins. You can do walk-ins, or you can book it on their website. So if you just Google Oru Space, ORU space, you'll find it.
And but what about social distancing? I mean, you can't just.
Yeah. So they've got
Are
like,
you allowed? How many people are you able to fit into your
so I think there's
space?
like, I think we can do 12 people at the moment, which is a decent number. And you got like 1.5. They've got everything marked up, so social distancing
Okay.
all is
Good.
all taken care of. Because normally there would be like 19, so they've reduced it
Yeah.
to 12 basically.
Okay. And then masks, of course, need to be worn.
Actually, now after Monday, you don't have to wear masks anymore
Okay.
inside because you don't have to even wear.
This last Monday. This
Yeah,
last Monday.
yeah.
Okay.
Since this last Monday, you don't have to wear masks anymore. I mean, you can if you want to, obviously, but it's not mandatory anymore.
I thought I saw them wear masks in the theater, because when the West End they were showing some. No, maybe
Interesting.
it changes so much.
Yeah. So the people who like work in the cafe wears
Yes.
masks.
Okay.
So
Because there's so many people going by and
yeah,
they serve.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So I mean, leading a meditation with a mask on wouldn't be very nice, would it? So
Yeah, it's muffled.
it's quite muffled. So I'm
Yeah.
quite glad I don't have to do that.
Mm-mm.
But yeah, so you can wear a mask if you want to. If you don't want to, that's also
Okay.
completely okay.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
Well, thank you for another
Cool,
week,
Thor.
Ines, and
Thank you.
see you again next week.
Absolutely. Take good care.
Take good care. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.